Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a new background. Let's get excited about that first of all. I ended up getting that cabinet from Mocha Furniture, which is an online store only. It was on sale for $200, bargain. If you hear Winnie in the background, he is being cared for by Elliot, so do not stress, he is not alone. Today I'm going to be talking about Winnie and the things that I find most helpful for newborns. Now, he is 5 weeks old, so we've gone through the first 5 weeks of his life clearly, and also our first son. So if you're new to our channel, I do have another little boy called Darcy. He's 22 months old. So I've done this newborn phase twice now, and I can 100% say with fact that these things are a must-have. So if you are new, don't forget to go down and subscribe, and of course hit the thumbs up while you're down there as well, guys. So let's get into the video. So the first number one big item that I definitely cannot suggest more that you invest in, and it is an investment because it is such an expensive item, is the Mummaroo seat. Now, we didn't use this with Darcy. We actually had just a normal swing, which by the way, we did also buy secondhand this time around as well, just for down in our second lounge room while I'm down playing with Darcy, for something for him to sit in. But that's besides the fact. Our Mummaroo chair is actually in our main lounge room in our house, and it is a godsend. We ended up hiring it for $170 because it was about $450 brand new. Yes, you could buy one off Marketplace, but I didn't know how old it was, how well it had been used, whether toddlers had climbed in it, all that sort of stuff. And to be honest with you, the amount of money that you are getting, or like paying for it secondhand, to me doesn't seem worth it. I would just rather hire it. And then the other benefit to hiring it is that you can return it. Well, the company that I used, I will link down below. You can return it within the first week if you find that your baby doesn't like it. So that was a big must for me. We would just pay the 1 week if that was the case. So it was $170 for 6 months. And I can tell you it is the most used thing in this house, apart from our number 2 item. So the number 2 item, or the second item I should say, is the wrap that we wrap Winnie in for all of his night sleeps and occasional day sleeps. So we used the same wrap with Darcy, but he was actually born in September. So the September that he was born was actually the hottest spring on record for like 10 years or something like that. So we ended up not being able to use this wrap too much. It was actually a secondhand purchase as well. So I couldn't tell you how much it was. I cannot for the life of me find it in Australia to purchase. It is a fleecy kind of material that velcros over to keep their arms sort of either up or down, whichever way you would like. So as I said, it's the Halo brand, and that brand is able to be purchased at Baby Bunting, but it's a thinner material, not a fleece. So I'm super grateful that we found that wrap in the secondhand store, because that has honestly been the second, or if not most, thing that we use apart from the Mummaroo. So yeah, I could not recommend that enough. Obviously you wouldn't be able to get the fleece version, but you could definitely get the version that's not fleece, and it would still do exactly the same thing. You just have to put more layers on your baby underneath it. So yeah, because it's been winter time with Winnie, we put a bodysuit on him, and then the Halo wrap, and then just a blanket to sort of hold him in place over the top, and it's been ideal, perfect. Moving on to item number 3. This was a must in my other newborn video with Darcy, and again we've used with Winnie, and that is the Infant's Friends. Now this is something that you can use for babies that have colic, reflux, or just general gassiness, unsettledness, and generally it works pretty quickly. So we'll give Winnie that, I don't know, after an occasional feed if he's a bit fussy, and within the half an hour he'll be asleep. So yeah, it's pretty darn amazing, and we've struggled a few times, well, a lot with Darcy, but a few times with Winnie where he's just really unsettled and needs to have that extra little help getting the wind out, whereas Darcy struggled with reflux. So I have a lot of videos about that if you wanted to go back and watch, but yeah, that is a must-have in my newborn kit. The next must-have, I feel like if you're going to breastfeed, is a pump. I use the Medela swing pump. It is just a single one, and I have been looking into getting a double pump, but it's kind of am kind of a bit late to the party, you know what I mean? I've kind of just settled to the fact that I've got the single pump and we're just gonna roll with it. It's a brand I absolutely love and adore. I've used it all the way through Darcy's breastfeeding journey because again, I had to express to feed him because of the reflux. This time around, I haven't had to express as much, but it's definitely useful to have around in case I wanna have a drink, in case that I need to put some in the freezer for if I go out for a day or whatever it might be. It's a lifesaver and I definitely recommend investing because I have heard that the cheaper brands aren't as good. And I've also tried the suction cup. I can't think of what it's called right now off the top of my head, but that obviously doesn't work as well. It does catch the initial letdown, but it doesn't do any more than that. So yeah, definitely recommend investing into a good, I was gonna say swing pump, but just a good pump. The fifth item that I definitely recommend investing in, and this is for, I would suggest just the first couple of months as your breastfeeding journey is happening. God, can I speak? I've had zero sleep. Because your boobs are adjusting, the milk is growing rapidly and then you will fluctuate and you'll get potentially mastitis, potentially thrush. I've just gotten over some thrush myself and I can tell you right now, what a godsend is Ice Boobie Packs. And they sound crazy, but they are amazing. You pop the pack in the freezer, and then when your boobs are burning or whatever it might be, then you pop those on your boobs. It's not really a newborn essential, but it is something that is an essential for me having a newborn. So I would definitely add that to the list. With that Boobie pack that I'm talking about reminds me of another favorite in this house, and that is the Lansno cream and also a fungal cream. I'm gonna package the two together, even though they don't come together, because really they're kind of a similar thing. So obviously you're gonna get cracked nipples. Well, not obviously, but you might get cracked nipples, you might get sore nipples from a lot of sucking, adjusting to the breastfeeding journey. So the Lansno cream is great for that. And then the antifungal cream is great for thrush, which is what I've been using this time around. So those two I would strongly suggest that you have in your medical kit or in your bedside table next to you for if you're gonna breastfeed. Another must have for a newborn is a steamer. Well, it is for us anyway, and the steamer that we use is the Tommy Tippy. I just had to check then what one we have. And I find it does a really good job. We had the microwave version for Darcy. We really liked it, but we just didn't find that it had a lot of storage room in there. So we bought the electrical one and it's been a dream. Worked at the end of Darcy's feeding journey and it's worked through Winnie's. So that's now going on 2 years old. So yeah, we're pretty impressed. It's an essential because obviously newborns, they do have a higher risk for infection and bacteria to get into them and that sort of thing. So we need to steam to eliminate. Another essential is obviously bodysuits. Everybody knows that. Rompers, that kind of thing. What I will say is this time around we have tried the Next brand, Next UK or Next Australia, and we have loved their knits and their clothes. It's just been really nice, nice quality for the price. So I thought I'd mention those, even though you probably could get away with not having that specific brand. I thought I'd mention that brand because it is in our house now an essential. The next essential that we have is our bassinet. Now, any bassinet would do, but what I will say is in Australia, there is no standards for bassinets. So bear in mind, which is something that I didn't realize before having Darcy, is that you wanna have a breathable material encasing the baby's crib, because if they were to roll over, they do stay in it for a few months, so they do eventually start rolling. And if they were to roll over and, you know, push their face against the wall, then they will suffocate. And unfortunately, SIDS, well, the SIDS website does have guidelines, but it's not a law in Australia for bassinets to abide by, which is really scary and dangerous. You think that going to the store that you can trust that, you know, we can consume that product without any fear of health hazards. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So do your research on the bassinet that you're going to be getting and the crib you're going to be getting. So the bassinet that we use, I will show you what it is. I can't think of the name right now, but I will be popping it on the screen so you'll see that anyway. But we love this one. It's not one that can really sit against the bed. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but it doesn't have a roll down window, and it doesn't obviously give me much room to get out of bed, especially being a C-section mama. I have to have access out of the bed on my side. So what I did was keep it against the wall near my bed, and that gave me enough room to get out of the bed, but also I could be close enough to him that he could smell me and I can see him, hear him, all that kind of fun stuff. So that was a secondhand purchase that we made as well. So I don't know how much it is brand new, but definitely check your marketplace out. I mean, there's always bargains to be had, and it can obviously save you a few dollars in the new mum life. And lastly, a favorite in our house is the Fess spray and snorter. I did not think that that was something that was going to be a necessity when I first had kids, but let me tell you, they get congested, they get sick really easily, especially with people coming around and visiting all the time. Germs are bound to get into the house. This time having a toddler, it's just been neck level, and he's been snorting, the poor little thing, and just really stuffy behind the nose. So the Fess spray has been great to get the mucus loose, and then obviously the snorter brings that out. You can buy electrical snorters. I don't know how they are. I'm sure that would make things a lot easier, but I don't personally have experience with it, so I can't really recommend that, but I definitely recommend getting some kind of snorting equipment. Lovely. Anyway guys, that is it for another video. I do hope you enjoyed it and have learned something for your next baby. If you have any other newborn essentials, go down into the comments and leave them so that other mamas can go down and read them as well. And yeah, give it a thumbs up while you're down there, like I said earlier. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
What does perfect even mean?